Yo, Kingdom, community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe.
Boom, 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 boom. Yes, we back with another impactful episode of the community vibes, man. I'm here, listen, man, I'm so full right now, man. My heart is so full, man. I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful because I have not only, a frat brother of mine that's next to me, that's a friend, okay? Root to the Q's, man, root to the good brothers, man.
Yeah.
But I got somebody who was like the primary reason why I went to college, man, that gave me the courage to go to college, man, because I came from a region where college was just not important. It was kind of let's say frowned upon going to college.
An afterthought.
But when I enrolled in this guy's program, man, it changed my whole vision. It kind of gave me a purpose. And we'll get to that later. But I want to introduce to you guys my brother, man, Mr. Robert Reese in the building. Stand on your feet and get this man a huge round of applause. Yeah, I said stand on your feet.
I appreciate the opportunity
What's going on, my brother?
Good to be here, man. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, listen, y'all, man. Before we get to this guy right here, man, let's pay two real quick bills, okay? Now, if you know what I'm saying? If you woke up this morning, give God all the praise.
Absolutely.
Give him every last praise you got, man. Because I'm telling you, people leaving here without knowing they leaving here. Okay? So give God all the praise, man. If you was listen, man, if you was simply able to roll out your bed this morning.
Thank God.
Give him, say, thank you, Jesus, for that, man. For the small things, man. Just to drink water. Okay? Tell God thank you for that, man, because God is able, man. God is the reason for the season, okay? So have a conversation with him, man. Tell him thank you, okay? And be grateful out here because I'm telling you, man, there's some people out here that's really doing bad, really struggling out here, with life. So, all right, so you make sure that you kiss your kids, man, kiss your family, and tell the ones that you love them,
Absolutely.
okay? That's so important. Now, number two, if you hear the music playing in the background, I mean, you know where you at. You at the Groove Smoothie and Juice Bar, located on 7510 Gunners Ferry Road. Come out here, man, get you a smoothie, man. Okay, health is wealth. All right, health is wealth. Come get you a smoothie. Come chill with your boy, man. Come do a two-step with me. I got you, okay? Buy a smoothie, go vote. Then buy a smoothie, and then come do a two-step with me. All right, I got you, all right? Now, let's get to the main reason why we're here today. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in to another impactful episode of the Community Vibes. Please like, share, and comment, okay? Please do so. All right, now, my guy, Mr. Robert Reese, man, for those who don't know, man, was the director of the Upward Bound program at the University of South Carolina when I was in high school, which was a long time ago. Okay, it might have been like 5 years ago. All right? I'm lying, but nice little ways ago. And I went to that program reluctantly. I did not want to give up my Saturdays.
Kicking and dragging.
My mother said, "No, you going to this program." For those who know my mother, knew that there was no debate, no rebuttal. Whatever she said was gonna be done. And so I just got in the car like, man, I just do not want to go to this program. Saturday mornings, like, why am I going to this? Man, this is whack. So I got there, man, and I came that first Saturday. I looked around, and I was trying, you know how it is, man. You're trying to be standoffish, trying to be hard, cool. Like, you don't need this. Like, you guys are lame. You're a bunch of weirdos. And then I messed around and met Mr. Reese, man, and he just made me feel so comfortable to, be there. And then he allowed me to let my guard down. And once I really started going, like those Saturdays, man, just, being around people who really wanted to go to college. But not only that, being around people who encouraged you to go to college, and that gave you the confidence to go to college. That was big because my guidance counselor told me when I was in the 10th grade that I was not college material. Okay, she told me and my mother that. So being around people who say, no, son, you are college material, but here's what it's going to take for you to go to college was huge. And this was the man right here, the man with the plan, Mr. Robert Reese. So I always tell him, thank you for everything. But I'm going to tell him again, thank you so much, my brother.
Absolutely. And it was all reciprocal. So my students don't realize that as much as I gave, I got. Because it was really sort of therapeutic for me to even work in this capacity. But hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that too.
Oh yeah. So Morehouse man. How did Morehouse change that 17-year-old leaving high school?
Wow, that's an interesting question because I think Morehouse allowed me an opportunity to mature. But really, when I went to Lower Richland, so when I left Lower Richland, I had a stellar high school career. Academically, personally, socially, I just had it all. And by the time I got to my senior year, I was really sort of on the downward slope. So when I went to Morehouse, I went in a bad place. I wasn't ready for college. I really probably should have taken a few years out because I just really messed around. And the impetus behind me even doing Upward Bound was because I felt so down on myself because I didn't take advantage of college like I should. Having been, my freshman, sophomore, junior class president at Lower Richland, most likely to succeed, most popular, all of that stuff. When I got to Morehouse, I just didn't do anything.
Wow.
I was burnt out. And so I just kind of floated through college. And so about the end of my junior year, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? And so I was like, I wasted my whole college tenure not doing anything.
Wow.
And so I decided I gotta start giving back and giving of myself. So I started a day camp in Eastover for 11, 12, 13-year-olds. And it was during the summer, a 6-week day camp. Parents would drop them off in the morning and then pick them up when they got home from work. And so we did that with no funding.
Wow.
We kind of planned it. I planned it with some high school students from Lower Richland. I was a junior at Morehouse. And then we got donations from area churches, area businessmen, area politicians, and we funded this day camp.
Wow.
And it was because of that day camp that got me a job helping young people to find jobs during the summer.
Wow.
And it was from that job that then catapulted me to USC.
Wow.
Because my undergraduate degree was in business, commercial real estate.
Right.
So the trajectory to working with students wasn't there academically.
Right.
My background was business. And so I was like, how do I make this transition to do something where I could give back and make up for all that lost time?
Right.
So that's how I got to Upward Bound. And it's interesting because Upward Bound is one of the federal TRIO programs.
Right.
And it's called TRIO because it's 3 programs: Student Support Services, which works with college students, and then Educational Talent Search. I was a talent search student.
Right.
So I was a TRIO participant at Lower Richland. Wow. So I knew what it was like to be first generation, to be low income, to try to figure out and find your way, how you navigate to college. So I wanted to make sure that I helped other students to sort of break down those barriers to make sure that they had access to college. And that's what I brought to the table. So every time with Upward Bound, that's what I was bringing to the table. Look, if you want a resource, if you want to know how to do this, if you want somebody to help you navigate, if you want somebody to help you to make it to college and show you that this thing is possible, that's what I was bringing up with Bound every single day.
Well, I can tell you this right here, man. Being that first generational, graduate, man, watching my dad, shed a tear when I got my first bachelor's, degree, that started with this young man's program right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like the OG, that gave you so much game, man. You know, so much knowledge, but so much confidence that we were enough. Like we had what it took to go to college. You know, first of all, we had what it take to you know, let's say meet the qualifications to go to college. But it wasn't one of those buddy things, man. Mr. Reese was not your friend.
No.
Okay. Mr. Reese was not your friend. He was fair. And
we could grow to be friends.
Yes.
But
yes.
this was serious.
But between those classroom walls, it's all business, because he knew how hard, you know, we had to, you know, work to achieve whatever greatness God put in us. And you know, school was just, you know, the farthest thing from my mind. You know, I was a, you know, huge jock. You know, football and basketball, and you know, a lot of teachers just passed me. But when I got to that program, I realized, man, you know, I really got what it take out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Which were, you know, words that I was not hearing from my own guidance department. And I think that there are so many young men and young women who, let's say, identify with my story going to that program, because they all looked at him like, well, that's the reason right there. You know, I don't know about my guidance department, my administrative. No. That's the reason why I went to college right there. This gentleman right here. So that's why so many people, man, give him kudos, and that's why we're here giving him his flowers, because you know, we don't want to wait until somebody dies to say, man, this man did so much for me. Nah, we want to tell you right now. So Mr. Reese, when you got to USC, man, what was the biggest, let's say, adjustment you had to make?
Well, you know, I think just having confidence in my own ability, and let me explain that. Dr. Paul Beasley was the director of the Federal Trio programs there, and when I took the position with Upward Bound, I started out with Talent Search, and after 2 years, he moved me to Upward Bound, and he said, Reese, he said, how many mistakes do you think you need on this job? I said, what? And so I looked at him. I didn't want to say a number that was too small, because I might need an extra one. And then I didn't want to say a number that was too big, because I didn't want him to think, wait a minute, I was having second doubts about my ability to be able to do it.
Right.
And he saw the perplexity on my face, and he said, hold on. He said, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give you 100 mistakes.
Wow.
And I knew, Terrance, I knew I would never need 100 mistakes.
Right.
But what he was really doing is he was giving me the confidence to say, step into this thing and do it the way you want to do it.
Right.
And what that did was that gave me the professional carte blanche to say I can make this program what I want to make it.
Right.
And what that translated into was everything that you experienced.
Right.
So we had a philosophy there. We were like, the first thing we were going to do is expose you.
Right.
So if we can expose you to the symphony,
right,
and the ballet, and jazz, if we can expose you to those things, I'm not saying that you like them all, but then when you get ready to college, to go to college, you can always say, I did that. I didn't like it, but I did that, and here's what that looks like, and here's why I like that, or here's why I didn't like it. You'd have that exposure to be able to say, I can do that.
Right.
The second thing is giving you the academic support, and they don't go in this order, because the academic support was first.
Right.
But when you came on Saturdays, it was about making sure we were building those skills that you were learning at school.
Right.
And then in the summertime, it was giving you a head start on the classes you'll be taking the next year.
Right.
So you go back into school thinking, wait a minute, I can do this.
Right.
So it's that confidence building in the academic portion. What you probably know about your mother, but one of the things that was really sort of kind of the inspiration was your mother came to me and was like, no, we gonna do this, and you say you can do this with this program, I'm gonna hold you accountable. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want parents to be engaged in this process, and she made sure that I was giving you all the things I said I could give. And then the other thing about, and you mentioned this, the third philosophy was get these students on this campus and make them feel comfortable on campus, and then it becomes a part. It's second nature.
Right.
It becomes a part of your experience.
Right.
So then what happens is you like, oh, I can do this. I've done this for 3 years.
Right.
I've been on the campus for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've gone to college. I know what college looks like. I know what the cafeteria looks like. I know what it's like to be away from home.
Right.
I know what it's like to take, be in these classes. So then if you get that kind of confidence, then it boosts you and makes you sort of ready for the next level. So that's what we did.
I mean, man, let me tell you something, man. You said a word that's so key, which is exposure. I was exposed to so many different college campuses, you know what I mean? And being around a college campus, every Saturday for one, then going on college tours, man, and stuff like that, man, and being around people who are currently, going to college and hearing their stories. That's exposure right there, man. Like that, you can't even pay for that. Like, that's just priceless. You know what I'm saying? And that was priceless for me, because Monday through Friday, I'm going to school with people who are not trying to go to college.
Right.
Okay, who just have made up their minds that they're not going to college. Then on a Saturday morning, I'm around maybe 30, 40, 50 people that want to go to college. You see what I'm saying? So I'm battling like my future, Monday through Friday, and my mind says like, my friends, teachers and coaches, nobody's talking about college. Then I go to their program and it's like college, and you're ready for college. But not only college, man, post-college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you want to get a job. You see what I'm saying? So I really had to keep my mind focused. Like, that's one of the main reasons why I love going there on Saturday, because it was like a brain refresher for me. Leaving that environment, coming to you guys' environment, man. Not only that, but being around you was such a breath of fresh air, because I just didn't have guys like you, around my neighborhood, around my school. My dad didn't go to college. My neighbors didn't go to college.
Right.
My friends' parents, they didn't go to college. So being around you was like water to a thirsty person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just needed it. So let me ask you this, man. How does it feel to know that you impacted so many people's lives, man?
So I started out by saying this was what I felt I had to do, because I wasted so much college time.
Right.
And so I dove in head first. And I was like, okay, God, if you give me an opportunity to make up for the wasted time that I had, then I would show myself approved. And so when I say that it was reciprocal, the things that I gave to all the students, it was also a way for me to get something in return, because it was an opportunity for me to see some fulfillment in what I was doing. I could have easily gone to corporate America.
Right, easily.
I could have easily gone to corporate America. Yeah. I was like, this is not what I see myself doing, and not how I see my life being fulfilled. And so that's why I decided, let me try to make this transition. So every single student was an opportunity for me to pour everything I had into that individual, because I knew it was a way for me to kind of still sort of energize and refresh myself too.
Right.
So as I gave, I replenished myself. Right. As I gave more, I got more. And it wound up being the thing that absolutely sort of catapulted me professionally.
Right.
Because USC Upward Bound took me back to my alma mater, Morehouse, and then I eventually went to Georgia State, and then I went and was the dean at a college at Minneapolis Community and Technical College, and then went on to the University of Minnesota for the Director of Diversity and Inclusion. So it was giving. It was that sense of help and support and assistance and providing that kind of modeling, role modeling, that then helped me professionally get into higher education.
Right.
And so then that's what I've been doing ever since. So it's been, I heard Oprah Winfrey say one time, once you find the path that you're destined to be on, if you get on that path that you're destined to be on, all kind of things just kind of start piling on that you would have never thought about. So all I knew was I wanted to be able to help somebody to really sort of navigate the stuff that was challenging for me. I got on that path, and then it kind of catapulted me professionally.
Big time, man. So you traveled all over the world, man. You know, helping students.
Absolutely.
And you had to have changed so many people's lives, because you changed so many people's lives that I know, and I know that people love you, and they respect you so much. But currently, what are you doing now?
So I was at the University of Minnesota, and probably had the job that I would have retired in. And I told you I went to Lower Richland.
Right.
So there were only 6 black students in our AP classes.
Wow.
3 black females, 3 black males. One of the black males that was in the classes with me was Bishop Eric Davis. So Bishop Eric Davis at Word of God, he and I we've been in the same AP class in 6th grade. So we were boys all the way through. And then after he was just talking to me about what he was doing. And so he was doing something outside of the church. He was starting, he went to South Carolina State. And then when he went to South Carolina State, he did engineering. And after he left South Carolina State, he went to work for Westinghouse in Orlando, Florida. And so he got a call in to be a pastor. So he says, Rob, he said, man, I got an idea about how we teach young people, elementary school students, about STEM. It's amazing how God works, because at the University of Minnesota, I was working at a campus that was only health science.
Wow.
So it was only teaching students how to become doctors or dentists or anesthesiologists or any sort of field that's in the health science. But my role was to find first generation, low income, students of color, male students, finding them to come into that health science pipeline. And what I was realizing, because I was working closely with the Mayo Clinic, what I was realizing is that if these students don't learn science early, this curriculum is gonna kill them at college. So I was trying to find ways to help start students thinking science early. And I was doing that with the Mayo Clinic. So we were reaching back to middle school. And so I was reaching back to middle school, almost trying to find a farm team, develop a farm team, so that they in middle school they get ready for high school, and then they ultimately get ready to come to the college program.
Pipeline.
Right, the pipeline that I was working. And so then here's Eric coming and saying, I want to start at elementary. I want to start teaching students about STEM in elementary.
Wow.
And so I was like, whoa. I was like, hey, that makes sense to me. As they're starting to learn to read and write and just have a love for learning, let that also be science focused. And so that's what I'm doing.
Wow.
I'm working with him. We're working internationally. So not just here in the States, but we're working with Jamaica. We got a couple of contracts that we got pending with a couple of other African countries, where we're looking at bringing STEM programming, bringing STEM books, bringing STEM literacy tools, bringing STEM experiential learning into elementary schools, and getting students excited about it. Because what you always find students say, I don't like math. I don't like math.
That's me.
But that's because most students they hadn't felt comfortable with it early enough to say, okay, wait a minute, no, I know how to do that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm working with elementary school students to help them, and this is real different for me, because I've always worked on the collegiate side. So I'm going to the other end of the educational pipeline, all the way at the very beginning, to hopefully get students ready to then be able to see themselves as, architects, astronomers, engineers, aerospace engineers, chemists, biologists. So I'm planting those seeds very early on,
in the game.
and then having students to do things experiential with their hands.
Right.
So we got a big mobile unit.
Wow.
That we take around to the schools.
Wow.
And we park at the school, and we're there all day, and we let students come on there and do experiments.
Wow.
Or let them experience science, and it's been a huge success.
A huge success.
And then we got an edutainment, like a show that we've done at the township.
Wow.
For the last 2 years. This past year was in January, thankfully before all COVID stuff started. We had about 9,000 students come to 3 shows at the township where we do music. It's almost like Sesame Street Live, but it's all just with science.
Right.
And we put it on, produce it ourselves.
Wow.
Sell it to school districts.
Wow.
And then have little kids in there screaming and yelling about science.
Wow.
And so the idea is just to kind of get them excited about science.
Wow.
And then bring the buses back to the school so they can experiment with science. Give them books so that they can start reading science.
Right.
And then science becomes second nature.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
This guy's always working, man, for the community, man. He's always trying to help young brothers like myself, man. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. One of the biggest businesses there is right now is STEM.
Yeah.
It's big right now, man, because in my opinion, that is the future.
Well, I tell my students all the time that, and these are elementary school students, I said, listen, even my car, you got that push button and everything lights up on that panel.
Yeah.
So everything that we do, our refrigerators, the TVs that we have now, every single thing is science focused. And if you don't have science as a foundation in your thought process, then you realize you're in the deficit. You're in the deficit.
Well, y'all, see, now you see why I look up to this guy, okay? Now you see why he's the GOAT, okay? But just before we wrap up, brother, man, if you can talk to that young 20-year-old, that young 19-year-old that was at Morehouse during that time, right now from the seat, what would you tell that young man?
Wow, that's I'd have so much to say to him. I'd have so much to say to him, but I'll be honest. I probably would say, don't stress, because that's where my life was then.
Right.
I was stressing about what I didn't know.
Right.
I was a first-generation college student. I remember the first semester I had difficulty at Morehouse. I called my mom, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Right.
And she said, baby, pray about it. And I needed somebody to tell me to go to the student advisement center, or go get some counseling, or go get some tutoring.
Right.
But my mom just didn't know that. But I wound up stressing over all of that stuff. And so what I found out is, as I progressed through life, is that things happen. Good things happen and bad things happen.
Right.
And so, but they're a part of the thing that make you who you are.
Right.
So if you can sit back and kind of buckle up,
Right.
and just experience the ride. Now, I'm not gonna say enjoy the ride, just
Right.
experience the ride.
Right.
Because it's in those most challenging times that we have some of our greatest learning.
Ooh, that's big right there.
Man, I'm telling you, listen, I lost a six-figure job once. And I was just in my own head. My wife wasn't working, because we had it like that.
Right.
My girls were in high school, and I was thinking about, how am I gonna get them to college? All the things that I have, told them about, and here I am with no income. And my old boss sent me a book, Transitions. The premise of the book was, there's learning in the transition. We so often are trying to get from point A to point Z that we miss the learning that's in the middle.
Wow.
And so I sat in my space there saying, wait a minute, hold up, Rob. Before you jump into something else, sit back and have some time with God,
Right.
and figure out what he's telling you to do.
Right.
And that transitional space was so incredibly beneficial.
Wow.
And it wound up putting me back on track to exactly where I am. So even though it was one of the worst experiences I would have thought financially, it wound up being one of the best things that I could have ever experienced.
Wow.
And so that's why I would have told my old self, my younger self, sit back, man. You know,
Sit
buckle
back.
up and experience this ride. Don't let it stress you.
Wow.
You know, take it all in. Take it all
Learn
in.
from it.
And learn from it, man. Learn from it.
Wow, man. Listen, man, I really hope that y'all had y'all notebooks out on this one, man. Cause my man was in here dropping gems on y'all just now, man. Listen, you have been impacted. You have been impacted by none other than the guy himself, man, the GOAT, man, Mr. Robert Reese, man. He's helped so many, man, first generational college students, man, go off to be widely successful, okay? And I owe it all to him, okay? And God, of course. He's the reason for the season, man. So I just want to say thank him once again. Go ahead.
Wait.
Go
Let me
ahead.
say
Go
something.
ahead.
Let me
Go
say
ahead.
something. Because what you do is the epitome of payback. I mean, really and truly. So all the students that I have supported along the way, I've said that there is a payback. And the payback is once you get to where you're going, make sure you lift somebody up and bring them along.
Facts.
So what you do,
Thank you.
you know, this is the ultimate payback and the ultimate satisfaction for all that I've done. So if I've had any way to influence, I appreciate it. You keep doing the work you're doing.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, man. Thank you so much, man, for him. Thank God for him, and thank God for you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in to another impactful episode of the Community Vibes. Make sure you go out and vote, okay? Vote. Use your voice. That's your right, man. People died for that right, all right? Make sure you put God first, okay? Take care of yourself. Salute, man. Root to the bros, man. Rudy.
Yo, Kingdom. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. You say you want shine, come get your shine on. You say you want vibes, come get your vibe on. Community vibes, community ties. Terrance Tucker is the brother who's connecting the tribe. Hey, you say you want shine, we'll get your shine on. You say you want vibes, we'll get your vibe on.